Well guys, we are here. The start of May has arrived, and you know what that means? Yes, it is time to talk about my most anticipated movies throughout the Blockbuster season of 2026. Otherwise known as the summer movies of 2026. Now, there's a couple things before going into this. These are my anticipated lists. These are my picks. If you don't like any of these picks or the movies that I was anticipating for, let me know in the comments below. What are your anticipated movies in the Blockbuster season if you live in Australia, but if you live in everywhere else, what is your most anticipated movies throughout the summer movie season of 2026? So there's a lot of big movies coming out this season, so let's get into the movies that I'm looking forward to, and hopefully these movies exceed my expectations in every step of the way. And just one more thing I want to do before I get into my honorable mentions and my top 10 list. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the OZD Awards for 2026. I know part 3 took a long time for it to get uploaded. It took I think a month or two. This is the thing. It is really hard work to edit these award season shows, and the OZD Awards is very hard to edit. It definitely brings me back to when I was kind of struggling in 2020, but I basically brought it up, guys. Part 3 is now uploaded. Check it out. Want to know what wins Best Picture in the OZD Awards? Check it out. Would I repeat it all over again? Unfortunately, no. I'm doing this because I'm celebrating 1K subscribers, so I want to bring something big. So OZD Awards, that's going to be my very last OZD Awards, unfortunately. Very sorry, guys, but you know what? All good things must come to an end. So let's start off with talking about some honorable mentions. These movies didn't make my top 10 anticipated list, but I'm still looking forward to these movies nonetheless. And they are Mortal Kombat 2, Backrooms, Masters of the Universe, Scary Movie, Passenger, Coyote vs. Acme, The Death of Robin Hood, The Invite, The Dog Stars, and Power Ballot. Those movies I'm very looking forward to, but they're not as good as my top 10. These are the 10 movies that I'm mainly looking forward to throughout the summer movie season or blockbuster season of 2026. Let's get into the top 10. Starting off in my number 10 is Jackass Best and Last. Of course, I'm a huge fan of Jackass. I love the TV series, and also the movies are in a special place in my heart. Of course, all the Jackass movies, they are a lot of fun, and of course, all good things must come to an end. This is the very last Jackass movie that came out, and of course, it's really sad to see Johnny Knoxville, Wee Man, Steve-O basically doing these stunts for the very last time, but of course, the more older they get, the more dangerous these stunts are going to be for them. So of course, all good things must come to an end, but yes, the trailers look a lot of fun. It looks like the Jackass that I know and love and remember, and I like that it's trying to kind of flash back to the old stunts that the Jackass did, so it's trying to be like a tribute movie while this is being a final movie and we still have some new stunts, but also bring back the past with the old stunts, and I think that's very interesting what they brought up to this movie. But of course with Jackass Forever, I had a great time with that cinematic experience for that movie, so hopefully I feel the same way with this movie, and hopefully the stunts are more fun, more crazy, more insane. That's just what's entertaining about Jackass. It's just the stunts. There are idiots doing stunts, and we just enjoy watching it on the TV screens and especially on the big screen. Coming to my number 9 is Obsession. Now, this is a horror film that I heard really good things about when it came out, and it's coming out here soon. And I really do like this concept of this guy using some wish thing to basically have his crush be with him, but of course, crazy supernatural shit is happening. I really do like this premise. I like original horror film premise, and I heard really good things about this movie. The trailers really does impress me. This movie looks really fucked up, really disturbing in some sort of a way, and it made me curious of where it's going to go throughout it. I would say horror movies have been mixed this year, disappointingly, and there have been some very disappointing horror films that came out this year, so hopefully Obsession is not one of them. I'm hearing really good things about that movie, so hopefully that movie exceeds my expectations in every step of the way. Coming into my number 8 is The Mandalorian and Grogu. Now, I'm a Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars, and I know Disney with Star Wars, it's been very controversial with a lot of people, and I'm not gonna lie, Star Wars is starting to become a little off easy, even though we have some really good Star Wars shows like The Mandalorian, of course. But we finally have a Star Wars film back on the big screen since The Rise of Skywalker, so I'm really interested to see where this movie goes. I saw the trailer for The Mandalorian Grogu in IMAX. it looks great with IMAX ratio. So I'm really interested to see how this film is going to get along. And I know this is very mixed. Some people like the trailers, some people didn't like the trailers. The teaser trailer did not impress me all too much, but the more trailers that come, I'm like, you know what, this looks like a fun Star Wars adventure. And the Mandalorian, such a fun character in the series. I love the Mandalorian TV series. Pedro Pascal just really brings it on. Grogu is one of the most adorable things ever. So seeing them two on the big screen is a real treat. And of course, Jon Favreau is directing this movie. The guy who brought the first Iron Man movie and one of the best Disney live action films of all time, The Jungle Book. Yes, he also did The Lion King, which is pretty terrible, but that's one of them. Most of his films have been pretty good. So hopefully he brings it on with Star Wars. Hopefully this doesn't ruin Star Wars. Hopefully this is like, yep, we are excited to see Star Wars again on the big screen again. Coming into my number 7 is Evil Dead Burn. Now this is my most anticipated horror film, I would say, in this blockbuster season, because I'm a fan of the Evil Dead franchise. I've always loved this franchise, and that first little teaser that we got, this one-shot teaser, looks insane. I love that little teaser. Of course, we're getting a full trailer soon, like the description says, but that little teaser already got me in. And the synopsis of taking Evil Dead with family-in-laws, what I remember, that's a really interesting concept. But of course, Evil Dead. That's why I'm anticipating for this movie. I'm a fan of this franchise. Most of the Evil Dead movies have been great. I even like Evil Dead Rise, which is pretty mixed by a lot of people. So I'm really curious to see where this movie's going to come upon. Hopefully this is crazy, scary, brutal, and just from that first little teaser, it gave me all of that just from that one shot. It looked insane. So hopefully this is another great addition to the Evil Dead franchise. Hopefully this film is groovy. Coming to my number 6 is Toy Story 5. Now, I know, a lot of people are mixed by Toy Story 5. Some people said, why do we need this? This is the most unnecessary sequel ever. The third one ends it perfectly. We didn't even need the fourth one. Or some people saying, you know what? I'm giving this movie a chance because I like the concept. And I'm one of those people. I'm really interested to see where this concept comes upon. Toys versus technology. That's a really good plot to put in with a Toy Story movie. But of course, seeing the old characters return, Woody and Buzz returning in this movie, Jessie is going to be basically the main character in this film, which I find it very interesting. Lily Pad looks like a very menacing villain in this film from what it shows. Hopefully they explore her character a lot more than the trailers presented. But just seeing these old toys back with this new original story, and also Andrew Stanton is directing this movie, who directed 2 great Pixar films, Finding Nemo and WALL-E. Great Pixar director, so hopefully he brings that upon with Toy Story 5, and just seeing the old friends back together again, it's a real treat to see on the big screen. So, we are in the top 5. These are the 5 main anticipated movies that I'm looking forward to throughout this blockbuster season of 2026. Coming to my number 5 is The End of Oak Street. Now, this movie looks so original. It looks so different and very fascinating. It's literally taken from the concept of just a street has been somehow moved or teleported to some prehistoric world. I think it's a really interesting concept to put on of it. And of course, the producer of the movie, J.J. Abrams. I haven't seen him done anything in such a long time, and I love J.J. Abrams as a director. So him producing this movie is a real treat, and also the director of this movie directed It Follows, one of my favorite horror films of all time. So, let's see what he brings upon with this movie, and the cast is fantastic, and halfway in Ewan McGregor, and just seeing a new original dinosaur movie that's not Jurassic Park, and hopefully it turns out well, not like 65 did. I'm hoping this movie does that well. But the movie just looks so fascinating when it comes to the concept of it. It's a very interesting take. So of course, with this concept alone from that really fantastic teaser trailer, I'm putting this in my top 5. I'm really interested. Hopefully this movie is another great movie that came out this year. Coming to my number 4 is Supergirl. Now, James Gunn's universe has gone for a pretty decent start. You know, Creature Commandos is very good. Superman, one of the better Superman movies that I've seen in my personal opinion. I really enjoyed Superman. Peacemaker Season 2. Now we got the newest movie in his universe, Supergirl. And I gotta say, Millie Alcock will crush this role. She looks like she's gonna absolutely crush the role in Supergirl. From that 5-second ending of Superman, her cameo, I'm like, yep, she's gonna nail it. And in this movie, it's literally going to show that. She looks so badass in this film. And Jason Momoa as Lobo, one of the best looking comic accurate castings that I've ever seen. Right away when I heard Jason Momoa was playing this role, I'm like, he's gonna crush it, and he also looks like him in the comics. In this film, I'm like, yes, that is Lobo from the comics. And I know a lot of people are mixed by Supergirl, say it looks very Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm not bothered by that, as long as it's a really fun space adventure movie that happens to have Supergirl in it. I'm not expecting this movie to be perfect or anything, or as good as Superman, but I want this movie to at least be a lot of fun, and it looks like this movie is going to be that film. Coming to my number 3 is Disclosure Day. Now, of course, Steven freaking Spielberg.
So Steven Spielberg, the grooviest filmmaker in the history of cinema.
How could I not put in this film my anticipated movies throughout the blockbuster season of this year? And this movie looks like a huge blockbuster. Science fiction blockbuster, a new original UFO movie that kept us very vague. The trailers didn't really explain too much information on what is going to happen in the movie, and the entire third act is not even in the trailer. So this movie is a big mystery throughout, but the cast in this movie looks incredible. Emily Blunt, Colin Firth, Josh O'Connor, which I can't believe I didn't mention in my anticipated list. He is going to crush it in this movie. This movie looks so mysterious and something that is original and different, and Steven Spielberg knows how to do originality great. Hopefully this movie's like, yep, cinema, movies, old school filmmaking can still hold up to this day, and the visuals look outstanding in this, and it made me curious what is going to happen throughout. Coming to my number 2 is Spider-Man Brand New Day, my most anticipated comic book film throughout this blockbuster season. Oh my gosh, this trailer, all this wait for it, it is worth the wait, my friend. This trailer is incredible. Seeing Tom Holland back as Spider-Man is a real treat. I love Tom Holland as Peter Parker / Spider-Man. Really interested to see where it's going to take after No Way Home. And the trailers, this movie just looks like a street level, ground level Spider-Man film. I want that. I literally want that throughout this movie. And this is one of the best Spider-Man suits that I've seen in such a long time. That suit looks awesome. With the Punisher in the mix, Hulk in the mix. Thank you for the toys for spoiling that Hulk is going to be in this movie, but Hulk is going to be in this movie. But the trailers kept this movie a little bit vague as well. Like, there's nothing too big when it comes to story throughout the trailers. Who is going to be the actual villain in the film? Is it going to be Scorpion? We don't know. Is there going to be some surprises, some cool stuff that's going to happen in the film? Marvel is really good at getting you kind of interested and curious of what's going to happen throughout it. And what's happening with Peter and the Organic Web Shooters? I'm really curious to see where that is going to go. This movie looks more dry, it looks more realistic in a way, and of course with MJ and Ned, where that situation is going to come upon, there's so many questions that I have with this movie, so hopefully Spider-Man Brand New Day is another great addition to the Spider-Man movies, and after the test screenings, it's very positive. I'm getting more excited for it. Spider-Man, let's swing back to the big screen. But I think you guys know what my number 1 is, my most anticipated film throughout the blockbuster season of 2026, because it's my most anticipated film of this entire year. So I'm explaining it again. My number 1 of the blockbuster season. My number 1 is, of course, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Couldn't I say more? It's Christopher fucking Nolan. One of the greatest film directors that's ever come upon. All of his movies, even some of the ones that are my least favorite, I still really enjoy them. And of course, Oppenheimer is one of his best in a while. So he has a lot of shoes to fill to beat that, because man, this movie looks epic. It's literally epic. This movie is going to be practical. The whole film is filmed with IMAX cameras. So the whole film is going to be an IMAX ratio, which is something that's never been done before. With new technology that you can hear audio throughout the IMAX technology. That is very interesting. The cast from Matt Damon, Ron Pattinson, and Hathaway, John Bernthal, just great amount of people in this movie. From the prologue, the 4-minute prologue that I got a chance to see, and the trailer, this movie looks like something special. It looks like another masterpiece that Christopher Nolan is directing. Taking on this huge Greek mythology poem, it's going to be amazing, and already this film got my attention, and me and my friend already bought the tickets for this movie last year. So, we are ready to go. There's not really too much to explain. You know why The Odyssey is my most anticipated, because it's a new Christopher Nolan film, Christopher Nolan taking on a fantasy epic. It's just, what else there is to say? It's Christopher Nolan. That's really about it. The Odyssey looks epic, looks badass, it looks so well paced. It just looks like, yes, old school filmmaking and films are still alive. From the trailers, it just looks like it's going to be another big, epic masterpiece by the Nolan himself. So The Odyssey, my most anticipated movie of the year and my most anticipated movie of the blockbuster season of 2026. So guys, that is my most anticipated movies of the summer movie season or blockbuster season of 2026. Let me know in the comments below, what are your anticipated? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Keep contact with me and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Notify for my latest movie reviews and other movie related content. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a nice day.